Hey, what up, everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is EverQuest Project 1999. And today we're on the green server, on the level 35 enchanter, about to go over a story, a little bit of story time about me dying on a boat, and what happens if you do die on a boat. I'm sure some of y'all are out there are curious, because it wasn't what you would think. Like, I died on the boat while I was AFK pretty much, and then I had to figure out where my corpse was. Was it on the boat? Was it in the water? It was hard to find. It was kind of glitched out, so figured I would go over the story for you while we just run. I didn't have too much time today to make a video either, so and I told this story on one of my live streams for Gems of War, and it's kind of fun. So while I run to go get a spell, I'm running to Valius to go get a spell, and that's kind of part of the reason why I should probably go up here. Why I did die in the boat, because I was halfway running to do this, and that's when it happened. So anyway, I was near Miss Morris fighting the fairies. I dinged 35. I got like my buffer and everything, and I was like, okay. I went and got my spells for 34, and I was missing one, and it was a spell in Valius called like Gift of Magic or something, and I want to go get it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go just run it. Sometimes I like running. I'm not a big social person that always wants to, send messages, get teleports and stuff like that. Sometimes I like to run and just run and go get stuff on my own. So that's what I'm doing right now. But so I start by the fairy camp near Mistmore in Lesser Fay. I run through Fay. I get to I think Greater Fay. Go through there, get to Butcher Block, run through Butcher Block, no problem so far. Running through Butcher Block, going to the docks. Get to the docks there in Butcher Block, and I'm kind of having like a sort of a AFK day. Like, I'd run from one zone to the next. I'd kind of stand at the zone line for a bit while I do something. Kind of dad running it, instead of dad camping it. I was dad running it, and just go from one zone to the next, then kind of go AFK. Go from one zone to the next, kind of AFK, and got to the dock in Butcher Block, and sat down at the dock, went AFK, come back, wait for the boat. Boat finally comes. I get on the boat, and just the pattern that I had. Man, the raft is there. The pattern that I had, I was just going AFK every time there was a little bit of downtime, or every time I like got to a new zone or something, because I was busy. So I get on the boat and I go AFK, and I expect to only be AFK for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna be in Freeport when I come back. But what happened was, I went AFK and I never came back. I didn't come back for like 2-3 hours. So all the while my gnome is riding the boat, just standing there on the boat, going back and forth between Butcher Block and Freeport. Butcher Block, OOT, Freeport. Freeport, OOT, Butcher Block. Butcher Block, OOT, Freeport. Well, I get back and I'm like, oh crap, my game is on. So I, turn the monitor on, look at the screen, and I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm standing there next to the ferry camp in Lesser Fay. So I'm like, what the heck? How did that happen? Last I remember, I was on the boat. How did I die on the boat? And so I was looking back through the text. Like, I looked back through the text. Not much had happened on here except for me dying. And it said that I drowned. So I don't know how. I have no idea how. And I'm sure some of y'all out there could tell me. But I was standing in the middle of the boat. Nothing touching anything. This computer all by itself with no person, unless there's a ghost or something. Al Bundy No Man was standing right in the middle of the boat, just like he is right now, and somehow he ended up drowning. So it said like I took some damage, and then it said I was drowning, I was drowning, I was drowning, I was dead. I was like, oh man, there's 3 zones there. How am I going to figure out which zone I died in? So, but I looked back through it, and it said I had entered Freeport, and then I had drowned. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure my corpse is going to be in Freeport, or on the boat, or something like that. But I guess your corpse can't be on the boat, because then it would be going from zone to zone to zone, and a corpse can't do that. So I was pretty sure my corpse was in Freeport, in the water somewhere. So what I have to do is run all the way back. So naked this time. I'm running from, freaking Lesser Fay to Greater Fay to Butcher Block to the dock, waiting on the boat, get on the boat, ride the boat. All this is taking so much time. And finally, I get into Freeport. I'm hitting the corpse button. I'm in Butcher Block hitting the corpse button. I'm in OOT hitting the corpse button just to make sure I don't have any corpses in those zones. Because I wasn't there when I died, but supposedly my corpse is in Freeport. So I'm hitting the corpse button anyway just to make sure it says I don't have any corpses in this zone. So I'm cool. All right, it's definitely in Freeport now. So I'm zoning over to Freeport. I have to watch. I have to sit here and wait because I need to like start hitting that corpse button as soon as I enter Freeport. As soon as it stops loading and I get into Freeport on the boat naked, I got to start hitting this corpse button because I don't know when this happened. So I got to hit the corpse button as soon as it loads in. So, load into Freeport, I start hitting the corpse button. Boom, there it is. My corpse is there. It's on the boat. I'm like, all right, got it. I got it. It took a lot of time. I had to go run through 3 zones, wait for a boat, ride a boat through a couple zones. Finally, I'm back. I got my corpse. I lost a little bit of experience, but I didn't lose my level or anything, so it was okay. That's fine. Just wasted some time. My corpse is on the boat. I'm like, I can't loot it. What's going on here? I'm like, I can't loot my corpse. I guess I'll just have to drag it off the boat when I get to the dock, and then I can loot it on the dock or something like that. So I'm riding the boat. There's people on the boat. I'm kind of just like standing there all embarrassed and everything. I'm standing next to my own corpse on a boat. The boat, we're floating. My corpse is floating. I'm floating. It's there. It's on the boat. I pulled it onto the boat with the corpse button, right? Trying to loot it. Doesn't work. People standing there looking at me. So I'm like, all right, well, just got to do the float of shame until we get to Freeport and I can pull this corpse off the boat onto the dock. I gotta just stand here next to my corpse and wait. So we get to the dock and everything, right? And I hit the corpse button to pull my corpse off the boat. It's too far away. It's too far away. It's sitting right there. I can see it. I pulled it onto the boat. I see it right here. It's right there. How come it's too far away if I can see it? I guess I was like, all right. So I guess it fell back to the bottom of the ocean. Even though it was like, it looked like it was here, it was glitched out. It wasn't actually on the boat. It was actually on the boat for like a second, and then it fell back to the bottom of the ocean, I guess. I should have hit the corpse button over and over and over and over and over to keep it on the boat, to keep it from falling back to the bottom of the ocean. But in my head, it was like, it's right here, it's on the boat, it's riding with me. I just can't loot it because I'm on the boat. But that wasn't the case. It was just a visual glitch. It looked like my corpse was on the boat, but it really wasn't. I hit the corpse button, brought it onto the boat, and then tried to loot it, couldn't loot it, and it fell back to the bottom, but it was still visually there. So that screwed me up. All right, so now it's just back where it was pretty much. All I did was pull it onto the boat, and it fell all the way back to the bottom of the ocean again. So I got to now ride the boat back, and I can't just like hit the corpse button because, I could jump in the water. I should have just jumped in the water. I didn't know how big or small like Freeport's waters were. So at the time I was like, I don't want to be swimming around in all this water. Like, let me ride the boat because I know the boat's going to go right over my corpse, Instead of like going in the water and looking all around for it and everything, I'm like, okay, the boat's going to drive right over it because I only pulled it up on the boat once and then it fell back to the bottom. So I was like, all right, I might as well just ride the boat all the way back and then come back again, and this time I'll just hit the corpse button a bunch of times and drag it all the way to the dock, right? So I do that, which I guess I should have jumped off. If I could have done it differently, of course, the first time I would have just hit the corpse button a bunch of times. Second time, I would have jumped off the boat, but I didn't know any of these things at the time. So I'm riding the boat back. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go through all the zones. I'll come back. I'll hit the corpse button a bunch of times as soon as I get in Freeport, and we'll be good to go. Just wasted a bunch of time. I have to ride this boat all the way to Butcher Block and back again, but oh well. At least I'll know for sure I can get it. Because if I jump in the water, I don't know. I could have jumped off the boat and then went right under the boat, but I don't know what I was thinking. I thought like it was a bunch of water. And I had no food or drink or anything. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I just rode the boat all the way back. Okay, we enter Freeport again. I'm hitting the corpse button this time. It's working. It's working. My corpse goes onto the boat. Okay, I hit it again. It's still there. I hit it again. It's still working. I hit it again. It's still working. Hitting the corpse button, hitting the corpse button. We're about halfway to the dock or whatever. And then it says it's too far away again. The boat like glitches forward or something. There's like a lag spike, or it glitched forward or something, and then my corpse was too far away. Like, I wasn't hitting the button or something because there was a lag or something, because it wouldn't let me. We made it like halfway there, and I lost my corpse again. So then this time I jump off the boat, because I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I'm jumping off the boat. I'm going to go get it. It should be right here, because it just stopped doing it. I jump off the boat. I find it. I start dragging it around and stuff, right? And I start dragging it, but I don't know which way I'm going. I'm kind of panicking because I'm under the water and everything. So I'm not sure like which way I'm going. I'm trying to do sense heading. I'm trying not to drown. I'm trying to drag the corpse like all at the same time. With no food or drink, I'm naked, and so I'm kind of discombobulated. I'm not sure which direction I'm going. Eventually, I figure out which direction I'm going, and I still can't think like in my head, like, am I supposed to be going west? Am I supposed to be going north, south, east? Which way am I supposed to be going? So I'm kind of like confused. I'm kind of like not. I'm trying to figure out which way to go. I'm dragging my corpse while I'm swimming, while I'm not trying to drown. And then all of a sudden, like I hit the edge of the zone or something, and it starts like glitching out. Okay, and then something else hits me, and it's glitching out. And then all of a sudden, it starts to load. And I'm like, what is going on here, dude? I was just swimming, dragging my corpse, like hitting sense heading, trying to figure out where I'm at. All of a sudden, it's loading. I'm like, oh no, I think I died or something. So I'm waiting. It loads in. I'm standing on the boat in Ocean of Tears, naked, with no corpse. I don't know what happened there. I guess I got hit by the boat, and the boat dragged me into the next zone or something like that while I was pulling my corpse. Because I was trying to like stay around where the boat was, but I have no idea really what happened. I feel like I was on the edge of the zone, humping the edge of the zone. Somehow the boat hit me, maybe, but I don't know. Something weird happened while I was dragging my corpse, and I ended up in OOT standing on the boat, which was crazy to me. I'm like, how did this happen? The only thing I could think of is I got hit by the boat, and the boat like made me get on it as it was zoning, and then I'm standing on the boat when we zoned through. That's all I can think. So here we go again. I got to ride it all the way back to Butcher Block. I got to do the same thing, come all the way back, right? Hit the corpse button, try to get it to the dock. Stupid me, doing everything wrong. Wish I could do it all over again. I would have done it completely different, but how am I supposed to know? So, ride it all the way back again to Butcher Block, ride it all the way back again to Freeport. We enter Freeport. I hit the corpse button, right? As soon as I get into Freeport, corpse is too far away. I'm riding the boat the whole way to the dock, hitting the corpse button the whole way. I'm like, okay, it must be like halfway there or something. Just too far away because I'm too far away from it. The boat's going to go over it at some point. It'll be fine. Hitting the corpse button the entire time I'm riding the boat to the dock. Corpse is too far away. So I get off the dock. I get on the dock. I bind on the dock. I'm like, oh no, like now what? Like it's not in the path of the boat now. It's like too far away from the path of the boat. So my corpse is out there in the water somewhere, but it's not in the path of the boat, so I can't just ride the boat and hit the corpse button now. So I'm like, oh man, I guess I gotta jump in and swim, but I'm gonna wait for the boat to leave. That way it doesn't like push me or make me get on it or whatever. I can swim, go look for it without the boat in the way. Because I don't want that to happen again while I'm dragging my corpse or while I'm looking for my corpse. Because something happened last time to where it made me get on the boat and made me zone to OOT while I was swimming and dragging my corpse. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to wait for the boat to leave. I bound on the dock. I jump in the water. I'm swimming. I'm looking around for my corpse. I can't find it. It's nowhere to be found. I made sure to figure out which direction I need to go once I find it. I think it was west. So I'm like, all right, as soon as I find this thing, I'm just going to swim west, get back to the dock. Everything will be cool. Just wasted a bunch of time, but now I have a story to tell. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm swimming, I'm looking. I can't find it. I'm like, it's got to be somewhere around the boat because I feel like the boat hit me and knocked me into OOT. So how the heck can my corpse be like that far away from the path of the boat? But I also remember like me going the wrong way, me like hitting sense heading, trying not to drown while dragging a corpse, while being naked, while being hungry, while being thirsty, and panicking a little bit. I do remember that too, so I might have like took it a little bit too far away from the path of the boat. But I remember like, oh, I hit south or something. I was going south for a moment, or I was going north for a moment. I remember hitting the zone line, so I started looking that away. Couldn't find it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna look all over the place. I'll go back and forth under this water. Luckily, like Freeport's waters aren't huge, but they're just big enough that it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. Like they're just big enough that it's kind of annoying. So I'm going back and forth, back and forth. You can see like there's lines on the ground if you go under the water. Like if you ever jump off the boat and go under the water, there's like lines that they go a certain way, and I was using those lines to kind of like either go with them or against them or perpendicular or parallel, and kind of doing it in quadrants, looking for my corpse, and just was nowhere to be found. So I couldn't find it. It was nowhere. I couldn't see it. It was not there. So I decide, all right, I'm just gonna swim around and hit the corpse button and hope that I find it. Like that's the only thing I got left. I'm gonna just swim around the whole freaking waters, hit the corpse button, see if I can find it. Eventually, luckily, I don't even know where it was. I didn't keep track of where I was or anything. I think I was like in the southern, this like southeastern part of the water for some reason. I find it finally. It was invisible. It was like under the ground. I was looking right where I was, and I hit the corpse button, and it like rose out of the ground. Like I drug it from under the ground. Like there's no way I wouldn't have been able to see it. I couldn't see it at all. It was like under the water, under the ground, in the water. So I hit the corpse button. It drags itself from under the ground, and then I'm like, all right, cool, I got it now. So I'm swimming. I'm going west. I'm dragging it. I'm dragging it. I'm dragging it. Get back to the dock. Or actually, I looted it under the water just to get my stuff, and then I swam back to the dock and ended up camping out and everything. But finally got it. Was lucky. But what would you all have done? Like I could have went to the tunnel and got like looked for a necro to do a corpse summon, right? I don't think I can summon my own corpse though, right? From my own necro, like I would have to be online on my Al Bundy character to summon his corpse, huh? So I'd have to go find a different necro to like either locate corpse or to summon corpse or something like that to be able to find it because it was not visible. It was under the ground, like underwater under the ground. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting story. So if you ever go AFK on a boat, don't do it for more than like 5 minutes because you could die. I have no idea how I died. I was drowning. I got knocked off the boat somehow, and it made me drown while I was AFK. So if this ever happens to you, ride the boat back, drag your corpse, but you might want to like jump in the water and drag it because it doesn't always work to just drag it from the boat because the boat kind of glitches forward, lags forward, and then you can't drag it. But the thing I would do different is jump into the water sooner instead of like trying to ride the boat back and forth 3-4 times. And I'm never going to go AFK on a boat again for more than like a couple minutes. I'm going to make sure. It's going to be like if I'm liching or something. But yeah, that's my story. Let me know what you think in the comments. Sorry there wasn't too much action on the screen. I'm just sitting here waiting for this boat so I can go to Valius. And figured I'd tell y'all a story. I died on a boat. My corpse glitched out. It was pretty much invisible. And I had to swim around in the Freeport waters and just hit the corpse button. A boat knocked me into a zone line. That was weird. Like, the whole thing was weird. The weirdest parts were just dying on the boat in the first place. Somehow. Getting knocked into the OOT loading screen by the boat or something like that while I was swimming dragging my corpse. That was weird. And then the whole fact that my corpse was not visible under the water even though I swam every inch of it looking at the bottom of the water. Unless it was like floating somewhere, maybe. But I swear I seen it come out from under the ground when I dragged it. So I don't know. What would you guys have done? Put it in the comments. I'll get you a real video next week. Just had one of those maintenance man coming sometimes between 9 and 5 things today, and I knew as soon as I started doing a video that they would come, so I couldn't really do anything until they came and went, and now it's like too late in the day to do a real video. But hopefully you enjoyed that story. Hopefully you never have to deal with that. I did get level 35, like I said. I did that on the ferries, just dad camping the ferries, and I kind of figured it out even more now. I just calm a bunch of stuff now. It's like Gearhart's pathing. And then I just calm a couple extra fairies. And I haven't had... The only time they all came is like when they critically resist my calm. So they've never come from me just charming and pulling Gearheart now. I haven't had that happen in like since level 33 or so. But yeah, I just got to calm a couple extra fairies and everything's good. And it was still good. I'm still getting experience. I could probably do it all the way through 35. But 35 is a hell level, so I don't know if I want to sit there and do that. But one of the fairy guards is still blue. Gearhart's still blue. Some of the other fairy guards are starting to green out. But it's still kind of worth it. If you wanted to, you could probably go to 36 on fairy guards. But yeah, 35, going to get a spell in Valius. I got all my other spells. I haven't put them on my bar yet, but because I died, as you can see. But I got, let's see, Anarchy, Cast Sight, Entrance, Rune 3, Enchant Platinum, and Greater Shielding. So pretty cool. A new Mez, single target Mez, a new Direct Damage, a new Rune, which is basically a barrier, and then Greater Shielding. So that's pretty sweet. But yeah, let me know what you think of my story. Let me know if that's ever happened to you, and let me know what you would have done. And I'll see y'all next time. Like, share, subscribe, consider joining helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel, comment below. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.